You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. Today's broadcast was aired on Monday, the 23rd of May of 1927.
Questions and answers, a spring dinner menu, and a recipe today. Approved by the United States Bureau of Home Economics. I have a letter which I believe will interest you, whether you live in city, town, or country. The letter is from a listener in Ranger, North Dakota, who has tried the radio recipes and wants a copy of the cookbook. We live 36 miles from a railroad, she writes, and our neighbors are about 2 miles or more apart, so we women don't have much chance to get together and exchange recipes. There are no social gatherings in this stock country, but the cowboys surely like to eat 3 big squares every day. I am glad to be able to cook, but would like to learn different ways of combining foods. It happens that the menu specialist in the Bureau of Home Economics has included a new food combination in today's dinner, which I think will please my North Dakota listener. I know from experience that cooking 3 big squares a day for hungry men and boys is a serious business, and that practical, tested recipes are welcomed by the person who is responsible for the 3 meals a day. Now let's answer a few questions, and then return to the subject of food. First question: please tell me how to finish an old wood floor which has been covered with carpet for a good many years. First of all, make the floor as tight, level, and smooth as possible. It may be necessary to plane or sandpaper the floor. All remnants of tacks must be drawn or driven below the surface with a nail set. Then scrub the floor clean with hot soap suds or some other cleansing agent and rinse it with clear water. If there are stains in the wood, perhaps you can bleach them out with a solution made in these proportions. Dissolve 1 teaspoon of oxalic acid in 1 cup of hot water. This liquid is poisonous and must be handled carefully. Spread the liquid on the floor and let it stand overnight. Be sure to remove all traces of both the cleansing agent and the acid, or they will injure the finish later. When the floor is thoroughly dry, it may be stained, varnished, oiled, or painted, as though it were new. After the first coat of finish has been applied and allowed to dry, fill the cracks and holes with crack filler, colored to match the floor. You will find directions for making various kinds of crack fillers in the bulletin on floors and floor coverings. This bulletin is free and contains information which is decidedly useful around house cleaning time. Second question: what is the correct way to remove varnish or paint from a floor? Varnish or paint can be removed from a floor by scraping and planing, or by applying a chemical varnish remover. The first method, although rather tedious, is better and is the only one that will give good results if the floor has been stained. After a floor has been scraped, planed, and sandpapered, it can be finished as though it were new. Third question: how are dandelion greens prepared? The time to gather dandelion leaves is very early in the season, when they are young, tender, and least bitter. The crown, roots, and large outer leaves are discarded. Many methods of preparation have been tried to modify the bitter flavor of dandelion greens. The method of long boiling in several waters is not desirable, since most of the valuable food matter in the greens is then thrown away. A better method is to combine the dandelion greens with other vegetables or flavors which modify the bitterness, and at the same time to avoid overcooking. Raw dandelion leaves or those cooked without water are less bitter than those that have been boiled. Vinegar or acid dressings help, and so do foods of strong flavor such as celery and some meats. Crisp salt pork or bacon is frequently served with dandelion greens for this reason. Blends of dandelion and other greens are better than the dandelion alone. Fourth question: do raw onions make a person drowsy? So far as known, there is nothing in onions, either raw or cooked, that would tend to make a person drowsy. If one feels that way after eating a meal including onions, it is probably just the relaxation that often comes after eating good food, and perhaps more of it than the body really needs. Last question. Please tell me an easy method for making strawberry shortcake. There are two kinds of strawberry shortcake, both of them delicious. The old-fashioned biscuit dough shortcake, served warm, and the cake type. It's all a matter of personal preference, of course. The cake kind is very good, and there are many times when the homemaker finds that it is far easier to make a sheet of cake early in the day, or buy it and put her dessert together a little before dinner, than to manage hot biscuit the last thing before dinner is served. The members of my family are particularly partial to good rich rounds of light biscuit, split in the middle, generously buttered, and just dripping with crushed berries, spread over the biscuits the very last thing. I like to put the best berries, the perfect extra-large whole ones, on top where they will show, and serve the cream from a separate bowl. Some people, though, enjoy this sort of shortcake more without cream. Now, if you will take your pencils, I'll give you a dinner menu and a recipe. The menu includes fresh fish, scalloped asparagus and spaghetti, pickled beets, and a combination dessert of sliced pineapple, fresh or canned, and strawberries. That's a very good-sounding menu, and so I told the menu specialist. However, I was somewhat doubtful about the fresh fish. To see the menu specialist was brought up where fresh fish is plentiful the year around. I spent a good many years far inland, where fish meant canned salmon or a can of sardines. Fresh fish was rare in our markets, and frozen fish was almost unknown. People who live near the sea, near lakes or rivers or fast-running streams, are fortunate in being able to serve fresh fish often. For the sake of health, fish should be included in the menu often. Fish is rich in iodine, which helps prevent goiter. What are you going to do, I asked the menu specialist, if you can't get fresh fish?
I'd have some kind of fish,
she insisted.
Canned or dried or pickled or smoked or soused or kippered. Nowadays, salt fish, smoked fish, and canned fish can be had in almost every part of the country. The trouble is that the average housewife who lives far inland is acquainted with only 6 or 7 varieties of fish. As a matter of fact, there are more than 250 different kinds of food fishes, not to mention shellfish, available to American housewives, and each one of these can be prepared or cooked in different ways. For instance,
Please wait, I insisted. Let's wait until next year to go into the different ways of cooking 250 different kinds of food fishes, not to mention shellfish.
Very well,
agreed the menu specialist.
But if all housewives realized how important seed products are, and how perfectly delicious they are when cooked correctly, I'm sure they'd be served more often.
I think she is quite right about the fish, and next year I shall try to include plenty of fish recipes in the Housekeepers chats. I won't go into detail about cooking fresh fish, for if you are fortunate enough to have it, you probably know all about cooking it, but I'll give you the recipe for scalloped asparagus and spaghetti. This recipe is from the Bureau of Home Economics, and that's enough recommendation for any recipe. 9 ingredients for scalloped asparagus and spaghetti. 2 cups cooked spaghetti. 2 cups asparagus cut in inch pieces. 1 cup rich milk or cream. 1 cup asparagus water. 2 tablespoons butter. 2 tablespoons, half a teaspoon salt. Half cup fine buttered breadcrumbs. 3 or 4 drops Tabasco. Let's check the 9 ingredients. 2 cups cooked spaghetti. 2 cups asparagus cut in inch pieces. 1 cup rich milk or cream. 1 cup asparagus water. 2 tablespoons butter. 2 tablespoons flour. 1/2 teaspoon salt. 1/2 a cup fine buttered breadcrumbs. 3 or 4 drops Tabasco. The spaghetti must be thoroughly cooked in salted boiling water and then drained. Cook the asparagus for 10 minutes. Prepare a sauce of the flour, butter, milk, and asparagus water, and add the Tabasco and salt. Grease a casserole and put in a layer of the cooked spaghetti and then one of asparagus. Cover with the cream sauce. Continue until all ingredients are used. Cover the top with the buttered breadcrumbs. Place in an oven until the crumbs are golden brown. To repeat the menu, fresh fish, scalloped asparagus and spaghetti, pickled beets, and a dessert of pineapple and strawberries.
This broadcast was researched and produced by Breakaway Empire LLC.